Hello.
Hey Emmanuel, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Good, good, good. Just configuring some stuff ready for today.
I'll be right back since I'm the only one here so far. So
Yeah, all good, all good.
I'll be right back.
Hey, how you doing, Mark?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm cool, thank you.
Good.
I'm just I did a trial of GitHub Copilot, and I didn't really use it because I don't really code so much in my job as I'd love to. And it's expired, and I'm sort of tempted to install it for today.
Okay.
Do you use anything like that?
Um, we've got a set of licenses given to Joomla
Oh,
of
nice.
a thing called Quodo, I think it is now. Used to be called Codium,
Oh, okay, cool. Oh,
and
and it's paired programming, is it?
it works. It's um, a plugin into PHP Storm,
Right, yeah, yeah.
and it's actually quite intelligent. You can hand it a load of code and say, how can I do this? And it will write functions for you.
Right, cool.
Um, I came across it was helping out on Bears Amp, which is like,
Oh yeah, I know.
yeah, well, and they use that as part of their coding and mainly for writing pull requests. Um, but I got in touch with the developers and said, hi, any chance you'd be willing to give us some licenses for Joomla use?
Hmm.
And they gave us about 30 of them.
Wow, good effort. Well done, mate.
So
Brilliant.
Sigrid's in charge of those and hands them out to any of the developers who ask. Uh,
Wow,
I find it can be quite useful. Generally for Joomla, not so much, but
really.
I needed to write something that loaded in a file format. So I created the file format in a window and said, create me PHP that'll read and parse this.
Mm.
And it did.
Well, amazing.
Saved me a hassle.
Yeah, nice. Adam,
Hey, what's happening, guys?
it looks like
Yeah.
we got just the same four people again. So
Hi, Mark. Hi, Adam.
Hi,
Hey,
man.
guys. You look different, Mr. Vice President.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks.
oh, there's a free version of Copilot. Oh, that's handy. Correct, guys. I'm gonna assume uh nobody else is joining us. It's 5 past, and you know. Oh, actually, we did have a few people say they were joining us on um. Hold up, let me just check if anyone's.
All right, so are
Uh,
we building this let's say admin chat functionality together, or is this something that we all do on our own and then
I
see?
I think it's a relatively easy task, so I'm gonna guess we all do it on our own. I've created a document which did I just put that in the chat? Yeah, I just put it in the chat. So it gives you an idea of the kind of rules, which there aren't any. Just build however you want. I've given some suggestions as things you might do. You might decide to go with a WhatsApp chat or a Facebook Messenger, or you can use Talk.to, which is what I'm going to use, but it doesn't really matter what you use. The goal is to solve the problem and not to be focused on which technology is used. So I'll probably do it as a module, if I'm honest with you. But I guess the first part of this code along thing is to discuss how it might be achieved. So if anyone else has any other input, you could achieve it with a component or a module or a plugin.
But from my understanding, and keep in mind, I'm probably the only non-programmer in the room.
Me too.
I'm sorry.
Me too. Me too.
Oh, I thought you were a programmer. Sorry. From what I understand, it is best to avoid plugins because it's more invasive in the way that it works inside of Joomla. At least that's what I've heard. So it would be better to be a module, but I'm not an expert.
So does anyone else have an opinion on that?
I do. I think, anything can be as invasive as, the developer makes it. But to me, I was going to go the plugin route simply because then it gives you more options on, where, like, well, I mean, if you make it into a module, then you're essentially limiting somebody to, wherever the module positions are in the back end. Then there's definitely plenty of them. But I think really it's kind of how we envision where this, chat button is going to be. Is it going to be like floating in the bottom right corner? So
Yeah,
on every
that's kind of
page
how I
that
saw
they're
it. Yeah,
on, or is this going to be something where maybe we add it into the side at the bottom of the menu underneath help?
No, I
And
saw it as a floating thing in my head. But again, like I said, there's no right and wrong way of doing this. It's just whatever you think would be useful.
And then the other option is you can use the status module position in the upper right corner, similar to the take it to or user menu, and drop it up there. And then you can even have a drop down menu with, if you want them to, I guess the module could have a setting on which
The only issue
WhatsApp or Tawk.to or.
The only issue with that is like I'm on right now because I'm in between laptops. My new computer's coming from the States in 4 days. I'm on a 13-inch screen, and at least with Joomla 5 and 6, by the time you have a multilingual site and you keep the tour thing going on, and you add Mr. Very Useful Regular Labs Clean Cache button, there is no more room for another button.
Well, that's consideration. I mean,
So
in
that's
that
why
case,
I
maybe a
agree with the idea
floating.
of either floating or bottom left, like on the left column where there's plenty of space below the help button.
I see. I mean, okay. I was wondering whether that might be a problem either way then, because the screen size. But
The other option is we put it in the bottom of the side toggle menu, which most people usually have open anyways.
Yep.
So if you had it there, then it would basically be on almost every page, unless the page itself is not open. But then you could also, I don't know.
So, Emmanuel, when you have a screen that size, does it collapse the admin menu or what happens?
Well, I don't know because I literally have just enough room for 3/4 of a button. I don't have an extra button to test what happens if you have one more.
Right, but if what I guess what he was saying is on your left menu where you have like
on the
all the
left menu,
components and stuff.
there's plenty of room. I mean, I've got toggle menu. I have it, all fully
Collapsed.
open.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah.
And I have toggle menu, home dashboard, content menu, component, users, system,
I
help,
see.
and then a crap load of vertical space that's empty.
Yeah, I see. But actually, I'm seeing that it collapses stuff and moves around. So maybe adding a button would change. If I shrink mine on my screen, the home dashboard is the title. The buttons just go on top of it. So it feels. Are your buttons on top of where it says home dashboard? Or
My
can you see the
buttons,
word home dashboard on your admin menu at the top?
I see home dashboard just fine.
Yeah, so basically, if you added another button, it would just go on top of that text. So you actually do have more room than you think.
Up to a
No,
point, looks like when you
you're not
start this.
You're not understanding what I'm explaining, what I'm saying. Let me just, I guess, share my screen would probably be easiest.
I understand. It's just that when I shrink my screen, it makes more room. It makes the logo go smaller and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it depends where you shrink it to.
Anyway,
The other thing is that on a mobile, which, a lot of store owners are going to be running around, then it puts it to the bottom, and then it really makes it even harder for them to find that option.
So, I mean, it's a good discussion because even with a floating button on a mobile, perhaps that takes up too much space. Perhaps that's too intrusive.
But on a mobile, if you click on the, the hamburger menu and it opens up, then you still see all the items. And then, if we had the icon there, it would kind of be more of a universal.
Yep. Mark, have you got any opinion on this?
I was just looking at my a standard admin
I find the
dashboard to look.
yeah, I find the mobile admin a little confusing, if I'm honest with you.
I try and avoid it.
Yeah, I just I'm not sure why it's at the bottom. It's like I never seen a hamburger at the bottom like that before. And
Yeah,
then
it's like it's been like the in thing to do the last couple of years. Like Amazon even does it on
Yeah,
theirs. And
it's actually
okay.
positive.
Right.
Keep in mind that phones are bigger and bigger than they've ever been, but our
yeah,
hands don't. Our hands don't
yeah.
physically grow. So
Oh,
when you have it on the bottom, it's easy for it's
With the
easy
one
for your
hand, you're
thumb
able
to reach.
to, manage
When
it.
it's on
I
the
see.
opposite side, when it's on the opposite side of the screen, it's like you
Yeah,
need to, like
okay.
physical, two hands, and that's why they moved it to the bottom.
But
It's
then like the other menu for like new and save and close is at the top.
well, yeah, that's because they're Joomla didn't do, didn't do it all the way.
Mm, okay. I mean, yeah, I see why they did it, so that's pretty cool. Um, cool. So right, so first of all, where we're thinking of placing this thing, we could all do it differently, by the way. We could all go away, do it, come back and show each other what we come up with. I think that would be a more interesting exercise so that everybody solved it in their own way, and then at the end of it, we did a show and tell and say, hey, here's why I decided this way.
Yeah. And
And
then,
because it would also like, hey, look, I decided to do a module. Then I realized that it had to be in a module position, and that screwed me over and took me ages to solve. That would be an interesting discussion, right?
yeah.
Beautiful.
All right,
Okay.
let's see.
So any further discussion on whether it should be a module component or plugin? Maybe to save somebody some time going the wrong route. And, from my
I,
opinion, like a
I,
component is too large. It doesn't need to be a
yeah.
component.
If it's only working in admin, and doesn't need front end, then I would say an admin module. Because then it's quite easy to just add it into the back end by clicking star add module. I know it doesn't help necessarily on phone screens and everything else, but as a way of testing functionality and getting it, once the code's there, it can always then be migrated upwards into a component if necessary.
Hmm. Adam, you was leaning towards plugin, right? What are the advantages of a plugin?
I don't know, after talking through everything, it really, I don't know, I tried to avoid doing anything in the back end admin area and leave that, as close to core as possible, just because if there's ever an issue on the front end, it can always go in the back. And, so I don't know enough about where all the events are hidden, and where the module positions are already built into the Atom template for me to know, like, maybe I have a vision on where I want it to go, but there's an event there and not a module position, in which case then I would essentially use a plugin to tie into that versus if
How
it's a
can we
module position.
how can we see the module positions? Can we do like a query
You
or
would
something,
probably
right?
just have to open up the go under administrator templates and then just look at the index file and see kind of where the overall.
We can't do a query like a question mark TMPO equals 1 or something?
No.
No, okay. You used to be able to, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Well, you still can.
I mean, I'm assuming if you go into the template details where it shows you the different module positions, these are the ones that are pretty much baked in.
Yeah, so you can just do it in the overrides kind of panel, right?
So let's see. I could share my screen unless
Yeah,
everybody else
do
is already in there.
no, share it.
All right, can you guys see this?
I see it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is the index page for the Atom template. So it looks like I was looking more for sidebar,
Select it down, yeah.
which would be down here. They have module position for menu, which is in the sidebar.
Why
I'd
don't you
probably
just search
based
for
on
the
this,
include?
huh?
Why don't you search for the include? And then you see
Or
all
you
the
can
things.
probably be easier to do a search for that, type equals modules.
Okay, yeah.
But if I was wanting to put it in the sidebar menu, this is the module position I would use.
Mm-hmm. Anyone think of any reason it shouldn't be in the menu? It's not always visible if it's collapsed or whatever. That could be one downside.
But you don't really have a lot of real estate on the screen when it's in the
Not on
collapse mode
mobile.
anyways. So I feel like it anywhere else could conflict with something else that maybe,
Be on top of something, yeah, potentially.
yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, so
then
if we
we're gonna
put it
do
in
a module.
in the menu, yeah, the menu module position, then you can put it either above the admin menu on the left or below it. Just depends on where the position is. You
Okay.
know, uh,
So how about this? How about to make it super flexible? Why don't we create an admin module which can use Talk.to or WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger?
or maybe one of us tackles each one, and that way, if
You want
we
to do it
like
on
it and it
GitHub
works,
maybe?
then we can all combine. So then you have an option in the module on which one you want to offer, but
Okay.
each one of us kind of.
Makes their own. Okay, that's a good idea.
I can do the Tawk.to one. I already have. I've been using it for years, and I have an account already, so that would be
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
for me to.
Same here, yeah. But cool. Although we've only got three then. We've got Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Talk.to. We need a fourth one. So maybe we choose Brevo.
I'm not going to be coding it because if I code anything, it will just completely crash. I'm here just to learn and to kind of like absorb
Okay, fine.
and
In
see
which
the
case,
logic type of thing.
that's fine. In which case, I suggest somebody shares the screen and talks Emmanuel through what they're doing. I don't mind doing that. Or one of you guys would probably be better because you're a bit more knowledgeable about coding than me.
Yeah,
But
but it's probably better if it's you because you're
on basic,
you
and he
kind of
can.
well, you straddle both sides of the line just the way you like it. So it would make it so it doesn't have the Emmanuels of the world where they're just staring at like what are they doing, where you're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah. I
in
hear you.
that boat as well. So
Okay, fine. I'll share screen, Emmanuel, and I'll talk you through what I'm doing.
Sure.
Um, so then Adam says he'll tackle Talk.to. So then, Mark, do you want Facebook or WhatsApp?
I've not dealt with either of them in this
Or some
campaign.
other system. I mean,
Or also, yeah, any system you want. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Have you got a system that you used for live chat before, or?
No, that's one of the reasons why I was interested in coming and finding out more. I'd
Okay.
loaded up the Tawk.to based on the link that
Crisp,
you set.
Crisp
But
is Crisp is a really good one, but basically
Yes.
I mean, I've been able to install it because you just insert a single line of in the index.php
Uh,
and you're good to go. So
crisp.chat, that's the one?
crisp.im, I don't remember if it's crisp.chat, the one I
yeah,
use.
it's Crisp.chat's the one I've just found.
Yeah, that's the one I
Yeah,
found.
yeah,
Is there a free version? There's a free version. So
yeah. There's a free version.
shared inbox, omnichannel AI bot. This looks pretty cool. All right, so
Well, it's
what
phenomenal. I mean, obviously, you don't get all the features in the free version, but
no,
still,
there is a free
um,
version though, so it could be useful
yeah.
for someone. So all right, okay, so Mark, you want to do Crisp?
I can try.
You give Crisp a go. Adam, you give Talk a go. I'll give WhatsApp a go, and if I have time, I'll also have Messenger because WhatsApp's pretty quick. So I guess if you guys want to mute me or mute yourselves, then I'll share my screen and I'll talk Emmanuel through what we're going
Sure.
to do. Let me just check if um, no one else has messaged me on anything. So right. So Emmanuel, I'll share screen.
Okay.
Right, let's close down all of this stuff. I'll keep the agenda open. So this is how to build a module in Joomla 5. This is by Shirat last year at Joomla Day USA. So I might use this tutorial. It's 6 minutes long. Shirat did a great job of 6 minutes long. Is that really how long it is? It can't be. Must be not logged in or something.
Just bear in mind that's front-end module, not an admin module.
Yeah, but it's just changing one line, right?
Yeah, there's just make sure the namespace is unique.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it's actually easier to just copy paste one of the existing ones and rename
Yeah,
those.
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Right, so Emmanuel, I'm going to use GitHub. So I'm going to leave it as a public one so other people could download it if they wanted to. So the first thing I'm going to do is initialize the repository. So I'm in VS Code. I'm going to I'm going to try and remember how to do the source control. So where's do you know what? I'll do the, sorry, I'm a bit old school. I remember how to do things with the command line. So I'm just going to copy and paste these commands, and this is how I learned. So I don't really know how to use the IDE so much as I should do, really. What happened there? I have to push on refs. There you go. Now you're going to get to see me troubleshooting. Alright, we can try and get pulling. Passcode. Okay, cool. So tracking information from command branch. So added the remote. Just make sure this hasn't.
Tech is so fun until it decides not to be.
It's because I don't code often enough in manual. This would be like a breeze if I was doing this regularly. But I forget because I don't code for such a long time.
Yeah, I understand.
Let's just see if I make a commit and then try get push. Okay, I'll try that. Just check this git. I'm going to delete this git, and I think maybe what happened was I initialized it in the IDE and then tried to do this bit. Maybe I'll just do this bit again. So what I did was I deleted the git folder, so git was not initialized anymore. And now I repeat this, and it might be kind of starting again.
Okay.
Oh man. Tell you what I'm going to do. Close this down. Okay, this is not Git repository. I added the remote to it, right? So maybe I'm not starting again properly. What do I call this? We're going to do WhatsApp, right? So, okay, let's try again. What a Git repository. Same issue.
Why is it still commenting about Tawk.to when you're now on the WhatsApp project?
Oh, yeah, excellent point. Yeah, see, you have been helpful. So how do we how do we stop
I
that?
don't know if I call that helpful.
No, it's
Stating
really
the obvious may not be considered helpful, but okay.
no, because I didn't spot it. So
So
so this is because it's got something like the remote added to it. So when we added the remote this time, did it add it?
can I
Oh,
just
it's because of the name of the repository, that's why.
interrupt?
Yeah.
I've actually got it built, installed, and running, but the code that Crisp give us throws an absolute error dump saying cookies rejected for invalid domain. So
Uh,
it looks like I'll have to debug their code.
so
Um,
how did you get it done so quickly?
I copy pasted a template, I renamed it, and it's literally 3 lines of JavaScript that you copy paste in.
yeah, but to
And
resolve
I would
Mark,
say, in Chris, you probably have to check to see if you have to add that domain name in
that's
Crisp as an
exactly what you have to
approved.
do. That's exactly what you have to do.
Okay, I'll try that out. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with Crisp. I use it with my clients.
Emmanuel, I've renamed the the GitHub. So
Okay.
I initialize Git, do that. This normally just works. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but
Do you want the module template?
no, I guess what I'd rather have help with is understanding why my Git isn't working. If you know anything about Git.
Not really.
Well,
I use Git desktop when I have to.
yeah, well, I think it would be a useful exercise to do some Git work as well. But
If
I
that's
know we
also
should have done.
main
Or
in
haven't we asked
development.
ChatGPT?
Two, TWO.
It would have worked it out.
Knowing that 60% of stuff that comes out of AI is incorrect, it's always better to give it.
Yep, you're right. See if it gives us a clue. Okay. Okay. Mhm. Well, let's check that. So I don't know if you know what I'm doing here. This is allowing people to report a vulnerability privately, so it's not a public issue. And Dependabot is it scans your code to see if you find like out of date JavaScript libraries and stuff like that, and then it will let you know, hey, these libraries are out of date. Okay. Can't I? Let's have a look and see. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Why doesn't it tell me the branch name? Doesn't have any branches, I don't think. Spell it. What? What on earth? Jesus, this is I have got a branch called Owen. Doesn't tell me about them. I think it's on this 40. Bless you.
Thanks.
What do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add.
Damn it.
Ray. Needed to add a file, that's what it was. Okay. How do we change for? Ah, it's working. Right, we just needed to not have an empty repository. Okay. Oh, it's this one. Oh, it's a new way of doing it. Okay, cool. So we'll do some markdown here. Okay, cool. Right, so we've got a README in there. So now I need to add my files, which yeah, I think this I don't know who. 7 years ago, this extension is from Mark. It's a good find, but 7 years ago is probably and it's probably front end as well, I imagine, right?
Yeah, probably. And it's probably Joomla 3.
Yeah, yeah. It's 2017, right? So it's J3 for sure. Right, cool. So I need to get an admin module to copy. Um, so I wonder. Oh, the YouTube link, theme link would be a good one, I guess. I'll copy that one. So. um, Right, Emmanuel, I've just copied one which I think will be similar to it.
Okay.
So now I will redo everything in here. Oh, I need to do so the first thing I need to do is the XML file, right? So I'm going to call this so okay, actually,
Ian,
hmm?
that template is old format. It
This is
doesn't have dispatcher or services.
Yeah.
say that
It'd
again.
be better. Okay, so Joomla
Yep.
5, Joomla 6
Mm-hmm.
uses dispatcher and services. If you take a look in admin modules, what did I use as a template? Mod underscore title.
Admin modules. This one? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
cool. I'll download this one. This will be a better one to copy.
yeah.
Wait, so how did you know that this was an old one?
Because the file structure
Yeah.
should have top level two directories, one called services, one called source.
Right.
And then under services, it has the provider, which in turn calls the dispatcher. And in source, you have a dispatcher folder. So if you open up the
Okay.
one you just copied, the
Yeah,
title.
I'll get rid of all these files and thank
Yeah,
you.
basically if there's a module file, PHP file that's next to the XML in the root, then that's generally your first sign, especially if there's no um, services or source folder in there, then it's built, which basically would work with the backwards compatibility plugin until Joomla 6 comes out, and then you'd have to redo it again anyway. So you might as well build it up
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
Joomla
yeah.
5
Mhm.
standards.
I may as well. Right. Okay. Thank you for catching that.
It's okay. I've done my code up into the chat if anyone wants it.
Oh, amazing. Um, I'll look at it in a second. I'm
Yeah, no
gonna
worries.
keep us doing this. Um, so does that mean you've got spare time and can we think of a different task for you to do?
Well, I've actually got a meeting on Wednesday with Carlos and Sigrid about Jed, so I'm just going to potter on in the background and
Okay,
listen
yeah,
in.
cool.
I've got to prepare for that.
Good idea.
I hadn't realised it was actually quite that easy to drop talk into the website.
I knew it was, and I knew this would be like a really, really useful exercise, but a really quick and
Yeah.
easy one. So I had planned on making some further exercises in case people got quick. So I was thinking that perhaps we could find a way to add AI or something to it. So Manu, I'm going to copy and paste this, but there needs to be a way to preserve the case. That's case.
Ooh.
Hmm? Mark, you know what this means?
What?
This help key.
You can just wipe that out.
Can I just put my own thing in there, or it doesn't matter at all?
What it does is it goes to the old Joomla documentation system,
Okay,
fires that up as a link for the page.
gotcha. Yeah,
As we don't have it, we can just delete the entry.
nice one. Thank you. Okay, so looks like I'm done with this file. Let's have a look at this one.
What can, in that XML, did
Yeah.
you adjust the namespace? I didn't see.
One second.
Let's maximize.
This one?
Yeah. No, you didn't. So there's a line namespace path equals
Oh,
source.
here.
So
Okay,
change
yeah.
title to admin chat
Oh,
or admin chat WhatsApp.
yeah. All as one word, right?
Yep.
No underscores or anything. Cool. Emmanuel, do you know what namespaces are?
Kind of. I understand vaguely the concept.
Yeah, and I'm not going to teach you anything. But I also understand it vaguely. As far as I can tell, and maybe the other guys will correct me, it's just a way of making sure that two things aren't using like the same name,
Right.
basically.
And I also know there are rules about like what characters you can use and shit like that. Not that I know the rules, but
Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is the bit where we're going to do our stuff. And then dispatcher should be namespace. I need to get it from. Yeah. So what are these deprecated things, Mark? If you don't mind, I'm interrupting you.
That's right. Which bits?
See line 38 here.
so basically
Sorry.
the rule in Joomla is whenever something is deprecated, it's two major releases before it actually is gone from the code.
Uh-huh. But then that means we can write the new code today, though, right?
Yeah. So what in the oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, I thought I got sound off. Yeah, basically JComponent title is no longer going to be available.
Right.
Now, the way that modern modules work is you create a data variable or an array of data that you want to pass in to your template. And that's what these lines are doing here. Now, we actually don't need any of that because all you're going to be doing is putting whatever your
A link or something, yeah.
WhatsApp code is,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to put that into the template file.
Mm-hmm.
So you can basically, I left it in mine because it made no difference whatsoever.
Mm.
But what it means is that when you load up the template, the data variable gets expanded and can then be accessed within PHP. So if you load up default.php, the template file, you'll see that they're using $title. That's because they've exploded the array from
This
data.
data here. Right, okay, yeah. Okay, fine. So we probably don't need that unless we want to be stupidly technical and add it into here just so we can explode it. But we probably don't need to do that. We can just put it in here. Last bit here.
Go back to provider.
Yep.
See the container is register service provider. That calls the dispatcher. So you need to make sure that that namespace matches your dispatcher.
This bit you mean?
Line 35,
Oh, 35. Right.
where you've got slash
Oh
slash.
yeah, because we've got title. We need
Yep.
to change that. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to here. You understood that right, Emmanuel?
Yeah, mostly.
Basically, it's if we're calling it in the wrong namespace, it will just break. So we're just
Yeah.
making sure the namespaces match up. Everything else on here. Do we have the word title anywhere?
The whole concept of provider and dispatcher to me is Greek, but
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I'll be honest with you. I still haven't done enough in the new Joomlas and have never had anyone like Mark here to explain it to me. So he's really helpful.
This is unfortunately one of the reasons why Jed is so far behind.
How have you found what was his name? Mohammed, was it?
Carl,
Did he said he wanted to help, right?
yeah, we still haven't had chance to actually have a proper face-to-face about it. Yeah, it like life has been absolutely mental here at the minute.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now, Emmanuel, is I'm going to look back at the UTheme one, which was old, admittedly, but does do something which puts a link in the module. So it creates a quick icon, and it adds a menu icon. Hello, mate. You alright? Don't let him in here, please. I'm online with some guys doing some coding. Oh, not for too long, just an hour. No, he's been here less than an hour. Just a little bit before you came, yeah. I'm going to be one more hour and then I'll come up and play with you, okay? Okay, mate. All right, Mark, do you know if any of these are irrelevant or out of date or deprecated or whatever you want to call it? Is he on mute, maybe?
No, I don't think any of that is deprecated.
So
Menus helper. Hang on. Oh yeah, that's fine.
so I could use this then, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Then okay, fine. Let's do it and then we'll work it out afterwards. So Okay, so for your benefit, Emmanuel, you should commit after every logical change, and I would consider having done all the setup and everything as a logical change. So I will do a commit now.
Okay.
Okay. I'll also push them to Git. So now you should see it here. There you go. So now let's work our way through here and work out what we're doing. So I think this is autofilling here, Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be Copilot doing that.
Okay.
Which is great because it helps me to just guessing what I would do and saving me some time. I don't actually know what to call it. I'll just leave it like that, I think.
So why have a language variable here?
So you could translate it.
Okay. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. So I have no idea if there's see if there's any so I don't see any languages strings in here. Maybe it's in this one. So it does have language strings here, but they're not in the module. So I'm guessing UTheme loads them elsewhere, and it just uses the same
Yeah.
language file.
It's actually because the the old way of coding it, when it was installed, it would have put it into the master languages folder rather than storing it alongside.
Oh, right, and because I'm looking at an installed file, it wouldn't do that.
So what I did with my one, I just created folder language, created folder engb, and then copied out of languages the mod text and renamed them.
en-gb or
Yeah, en-gb.
yeah, okay. And
And then
then
in there, create whatever names you want to give them .ini and .sys.ini.
yeah, okay, cool. So okay, did you understand those parts, Emmanuel?
Sort of. From what I understand, is the new format like places the language files in a different place.
I think you always had the choice to do that, but I think it still left them in the old folder as well.
Oh,
I think you could put them in two places, basically. But do you know the sysini and .ini, what the difference is?
The one is for the backend module,
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
The .sysini gets read when you are trying to do any kind of system work with a component extension or module. So when you do discover, it looks up the text strings in .sys.ini rather than .ini.
Okay.
I'm just going to put it in both for good measure. And then I'm just going to check. Yep, that's fine. So now we need to know what this is doing. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, or is there a way to ask where's this? Okay, so this is quite useful, right? So like I know what this is. I mean, this is like basically calling a class menus helper. What I don't know is what all these little bits in between do.
Yeah.
So and I need to change them because it says U theme, so I'm trying to work that out.
That's funny. I just looked up and saw the file that Mark sent over, and my module is titled the exact same thing.
Yeah, I probably ought to rename mine. So
I think you both should, so that it's more specific.
Well, because I figure the admin chat would give you an option of selecting whether you want to do Crisp or YouTube
Oh,
or
yeah, okay.
yeah,
So,
that's true.
so I
hopefully,
built a drop down select.
okay, great.
So that way I figure we can then combine all three into one and then have one that works for everything.
Okay, fine. So what it's saying is this is just like a system name. So we'll call it and this one is the human name. And then it's asking for default preset, which is this. What does this do? Okay, it's a menu item. Okay, great. So we should copy this. And then put it in the presets folder.
On a completely unrelated task,
Yeah.
or topic,
Mm-hmm.
And of absolutely no value whatsoever, I recently became the number one player in a game.
Uh-huh.
I remember those days.
That's the
I was
game.
It's a game that it's like a strategy sort of game. and I just played it a little bit, for like maybe the last 3 weeks, and I guess I did pretty good because I lost very few times, so I kept climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, and I just found out this morning that, well, I can't climb any higher because I'm literally number one in the world,
Nice.
Well,
which has absolutely no, value
Wow.
whatsoever. But
I was in an escape room the other day on a date with a girl, and we got loads of computer games to play, and one of them was Minecraft. Not Minecraft. What's it called? The one we
yeah, what's
uncover the
that?
mines.
Oh, Minesweeper.
Minesweeper, yeah. And that was there, and I was like, oh my God, a game I can actually play. I haven't played games in years. And I was like winning so many points. And she's like, wow, you're really good at this. I'm like, yeah. When I was 16, I was.
Whoever said that playing a game at 16 doesn't help? It-
Yeah,
20 years later, or whatever age you are, it impresses a girl, so it was worth it.
right. Okay, cool. So now it looks like we've got a link for our menu item here. So this is where we're going to stick our WhatsApp. Oh, look. Ah, my God, look, it's worked it out what we need to do. Wow, that's so clever. How can it do that? Okay, so this bit needs to be the phone number. How can we make this a variable? I guess we could ask Copilot again.
Well, really what that should be is something that triggers the the WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, which is at the moment, but we need to add a phone number. The phone number should be a variable, so they can put it in an option somewhere.
add it as a parameter into the main XML file.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to add that as a field and then bring it into the dispatcher file.
right. Ah, look, it's giving me the answer as well. So right, so I'll add it into field here. So I'm gonna go copy this one. So then uh, there you go. So now I need to do give, oh, give, maybe that would work. Right, so I need to make these two. Wow. Wow, this really, really is a shortcut. How does it know what I'm going to type? It's crazy. So then, so I need to put it in the dispatcher. I'm going to guess that is what I need to do. Ah, but this is deprecated, so we need to do the modern way of doing this.
Hmm.
Now just say the Copilot is assuming that you have a component rather than a module. It says $params get params com admin chat.
Right, on the dispatcher. So this is wrong then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So alternative one, try $params equals module helper. It's not a dollar and it's capital M, capital H.
Not a dollar. All right.
So this is a
It's a
Joomla
class.
function.
Yep.
Yeah. Colon, get params uppercase. So yeah. And
Get rid of that.
Yeah, get rid of all that. And then it's for whatever your module's being called. So mod admin chat WhatsApp.
Yeah, so is that correct what I've done?
Yeah, change the com to mod.
Oh yeah. Oops.
So that will now extract the params as an array, which you can then index.
So I can use this still. That still works.
That should still work.
And okay. So then, okay. So I'll close that, and then I should have committed after each file. To be honest with you, Emmanuel. So maybe I'll do that now, just to stop myself having problems later on. That's my.
Do you have the new code to replace the get title? The Joomla 5 version?
I haven't used get title. I've just deleted it. But it's in the Joomla 5 admin module. Oh
Should be
no.
able to use that code that I just threw in chat.
Gotcha. Cheers. Okay, now I'm back to this bit where I need to get. Okay, so I need to set. No, I don't need to set that. Right. So, how would I do this, Mark? I'm in an XML, so I can't use PHP, right?
So how do you do what?
I want to add my variable onto the end of this link.
You'd have to create basically a custom field.
Yeah.
Not the same as the custom field that you're used to, but an
No,
actual like
I did
something that then you would reference and say this PHP file is going to be the same as this field, and then that's where you can inject the.
Okay.
Also, the whole way that this is working is different to the other, certainly Tawk.to and Crisp. They pop up objects.
Yeah, this is just a
Whereas
link.
this is just adding a menu entry.
Yeah, I'm just adding a link where it like click it and it opens up WhatsApp.
Right, okay. In that case, hmm, I would probably have done that differently. I wouldn't add it as a menu item. I'd add it as HTML and then build an HTML link.
So then I don't need the presets, so I'll just do it in my template here.
I
Okay.
think so.
Then that would be quite easy because I've
You just
okay.
pass. You do an href equals the
Yeah,
link.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can add the I'll do it down here
You're
now.
back in 1 minute.
Um, so that's just
That's ridiculous.
okay. So, data.
Okay.
Okay, I wonder if this will work.
If a missile is launched, so after you merge the code, if a missile is launched somewhere, towards the U.S., it's not your fault.
It would be the very first time something has worked. The first time I've tried it, so I'm not feeling.
We'll blame it on the AI.
I'll blame it on the pressure of you watching. That's what I'll blame it on.
Oh, sure.
Normally it would be so perfect, you know. It's just the
Right,
pressure of people watching.
right. I'm sure that's what it is.
I'm stupid enough to think that I can do live coding in front of people. That's kind of where I'm. I did it for a Joomla Day talk where I made one of the custom fields that Adam was talking about. Um, and yeah, it was fun to learn and fun to show people, but um, I couldn't remember how to do it if you asked me to. So, okay, let's zip it up and see if it installs.
Well, install is one thing. It works is
Install is the first thing though.
yeah.
This is a pretty empty site, so I can test it on this one. It installs. It doesn't have a description, so that'll be one thing to fix. Okay. I will copy that to the other ones. So then let's zip it up again and reinstall it so that we know that worked.
I took Mark's module, so since he was doing the Tawk.to as well, and modified it so it's got slots for the other three chats, so you can put your code in and then select which one. Then it also has an input field for the Tawk.to ID, so that way somebody can. It's not hard coded like the original one is.
Nice, thank you.
Cool. So he didn't do crisp?
No,
Wisp
he did
work.
talk to.
Oh, cool. Uh, here
But
we
if you
go.
take the one I just sent, then you're basically just taking your code for adding, let's say WhatsApp, but it's already in a slot. So then somebody selects WhatsApp, and then they would be able to see the fields for that. And if somebody selects talk to, then they would be able to see the fields for that. And
Unless you have a crash.
Unless I made it. Thanks, Emmanuel.
Hey, I'm always there to support you.
What's it saying? Module helper not found. So is it that we don't need this? Oh, no, there's no dispatcher.
You need to put a use.
Yeah, it's that needs to go into dispatcher. There you go.
why don't you have your debug on so you can see where the error is? Because then it'll show you exactly what line and what file you need to go attack when there's especially when you're at the early stages.
So what it's saying, Emmanuel, yeah? Put debug system. In fact, I might as well do
Oh yeah,
debug.
don't worry. I know debug. While I'm not a coder, I do a crap load of PR testing for Joomla.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily do the language unless you
No,
are
I
trying to
wouldn't do language
that just
either.
adds a whole lot of extra shit.
That does seem
Yeah.
to cause me more problems.
Yeah. Just the first one is enough.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
so
So I still
So
have
this
the
shows
um,
you
dispatcher.
dispatch file 39 is where your problem is.
Yeah,
which is the module helper, which should be working.
which I just added, right? I got module helper here.
I think there's one for admin that's
Oh,
hang
That's it.
on. Yeah.
so is it CMS? It's probably still CMS,
Well,
right?
you're in that's a dispatcher file, right? So
Yeah,
it should be the abstract module dispatcher is what you're looking for.
but it already has it.
So no, here's what you do. If your IDE can search through well, you're not on a full Joomla install, but if you had like the full core Joomla, you can do a search for abstract module dispatcher and then or it would
So it's here
automatically
though.
fill it
It's
in.
already there,
Yeah.
abstract module dispatcher, and it's already doing it here as well.
But you're calling
Module helper.
params module the way it really should be for your params is because you're kind of they're using see the data equals parent get layout data.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to take a parameter and bring that field in, this code right here is what you would need.
This code here.
No, I just
Oh,
put in the chat. And whereas the chat type is the field name that you created in the XML file.
just give me a second. So I add this here. So
So for phone
data.
number, it would be where
Yes, I
you're
got
so just swap out phone number where it's in line
oh
41
here.
where it says get inside the get statement. Yeah, take that phone number that's all one word and put it there. Yep.
Okay, so
And then
then
also the other side of it, the left
so
side of
I
line
kind of
44.
I just need to put this down here, right?
Um,
But
what you here, look, you have to finish line 44. You created a variable called chat type, which equals the phone number
yeah,
field.
but I'm gonna delete that.
No, you don't want to
But
delete that. What are you
uh,
doing?
No, you need to delete 40 and 41.
You need to
okay,
delete 40 and 41, but you need to change chat type in 44 to phone number as well, or whatever you want the
okay,
variable to be.
cool. So I'll call that phone number as well, and then
And
this
then you
this
would,
this isn't a variable anymore. So now I need
the variable is the
this to
data,
be
that first part of the,
that could be like that.
okay, so go back and do what you already had, undo what you just did. You're making a mess of things.
Yeah.
The data variable needs to stay the same because it's returning the data array at the bottom, so it has to
Mm-hmm.
be in that format. So
Okay.
So if you want, you can say above like line 39 or 38, you could put the variable phone number with the dollar sign in front equals. Then you can put the data params get phone number the right side of the equal sign there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can say data phone number equals, and then you can just replace it with the phone number variable that you established in line 38.
Why didn't I just duplicate my work?
Well, because what you basically did is you're saying the phone number variable equals this parameter. And so now we're using that, and but you need to use it twice. One to establish the variable in the default file that you're using, the template file. The other is because you want to say if phone number. So in this
But like,
case,
so couldn't I do
so
like,
if phone number, take line 40 and put it inside the if
couldn't I
statement.
put this here instead?
No, no, you need to take line 40, cut that, and paste it where line 43 is.
Uh,
Line 40,
yeah.
cut that out, the whole thing, the whole line, and then paste it there inside.
Oh, so
So
then I can
now,
remove this.
yes.
Okay. But now,
And so now what you've basically said is that if there's a phone number in there, then this variable is going to be phone number. So now if you want to see it in action,
but
then
then I feel like I've still done more work, an extra line more than I need to.
you could also just do an if, and then you can say data params get phone number and put it inside
Yeah.
there. But for the purposes of making this easy for somebody else to understand, I would say just keep it there because if you ever wanted to run another thing, like if phone number is whatever, then you can do other things with it. Whereas
Okay.
either
Okay.
way, now
Fine.
the way
Okay.
that you would call this is if you go into your default file, the default template file, and you want to see it in action, then all you have to do is just PHP echo dollar sign phone number because you've established it as a data param.
Okay. Fine. Uh, okay. In which case, install it again.
$197.
Okay. Oh shit. Standard class could not be converted to string.
Okay, so let's go back to
Extra
line 44.
44. Yeah. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
So I've
I don't know what
now.
those are. You got to get rid of those. I don't know what that's supposed to
No, so
do.
now it should just be phone number instead. Maybe that would work.
Well, what are you doing with the data though? It doesn't make any sense because the data is an array and you're using it as an object.
Oh, right. So, but then I should just be using phone number there as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. So now Adding line 38 wasn't a waste of time after all.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
But in the future, the faster way of doing this is just have a local default Joomla install. And that way, when you make these changes, you can literally make it, you make a change or refresh on the front end.
Hey, something worked. We made progress. So where the hell did I put it? Did I not publish it to panel? Oh, here it is. Ah, so nothing's there. There's a module in cPanel. It just says chat via WhatsApp.
Is that where you placed it?
Yeah. So it's appearing here.
Okay, so just let's go test the signal and see if anything shows up. So now go back into the backend in the template file.
Oh, so well, I can just do in this template
Well,
file.
first you got to enter the phone number. Did you enter in the field that you created? Right now you have it set to do nothing if there's no phone number.
Oh, it's true. You're right. I should have a default really. Although I don't want a default phone number. Oh, my
So
field is
Did you
not there.
did you add the field, the
Oh,
XML
there it
field?
is. Yeah.
No, you put in the wrong one. It should be in basic. That
Okay. So
that
then
should
I'll
be
just
reserved. So where you have field set name, just
yeah.
do.
I think having someone who makes so many mistakes is a lot easier to learn from. We didn't learn anything from Mark doing it in 2 seconds.
All right.
But you learned it can be done in 2 seconds. The better you get at this.
I knew it could be done in 2 seconds. I'm so optimistic. I thought I could do it in 2 seconds. Okay, let's see now. Okay, so now we should have a. There we go. We have a phone number. Okay, fine. So now
So
let's see
now
how.
you should see some action on the homepage.
But why would that be? Okay.
What was it? Okay, so what was let's go look at
Oh,
the
it's module position menu. That's
yeah, so now you have
cPanel.
to
So even in fact, it doesn't matter what module position it is. Screw it. That'll be fine like that. Really, it should have like a fallback phone number just in case. Like,
just use 1-415-555-1212. In the US, 555-1212 is a
that's what they use in the movies.
yep,
no, I
exactly.
was going to put Adam's number.
Yeah, well,
For
you may not
for a good
appreciate
time.
for a good time call
So okay, something's happening.
So now you got to go add the language string that you just.
Yeah, I saw that, but also it didn't work. So
Okay, so go.
because we didn't have because I didn't put my because I didn't put my thingy in it. All right. So first of all, it needs to be
I
opening.
don't want to know. I don't know what. I don't want to know about your thingy.
Yeah, we don't want to put your thingy anywhere, really.
I
Yeah.
need to put my thingy in it, guys.
And I would probably in the default file maybe use the WhatsApp like font awesome icon at the beginning of that link. I
Yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't do it all in PHP. I would close it after the define and then break it out into so it's easier in HTML.
Okay, fine. Um, um,
But I would also put an if statement to check if there's a phone number, then display. Otherwise,
that's in dispatch already, right? Um,
no. In the dispatch, you only have it set that if not to return phone number, but the HTML here would still display minus the phone number.
oh, I see. I see.
So you have to do a check to see if phone number is not empty, then
Oh,
no, you don't need to do that. You just do in front of that, just do a exclamation empty, and then inside that, so it'd be if well, you gotta do inside the if statement first, but you
oh,
can finish that. You can finish that up and then wrap it. Or this is shorthand, so it's basically saying without having well, the way you had it before, if you were using the AI to finish it off for you, is showing you a
oh,
shorthand
I
way
see.
of
Like
not
that,
having to
like
use,
that.
but that's fine. One
Um,
more closing parenthesis, yeah. And then you put that whole well, you gotta make sure you close off the PHP at the end of that opening.
I can just leave it open like that, right?
Yeah.
Uh, okay. That looks messy.
So now what you can do is right before the PHP echo for your language string, you can add the font awesome WhatsApp icon since that's already going to be in. Let me see if I can pull that up. Hang on.
Yeah. So is it just going to be a span, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, is it an I?
I think Joomla prefers it to be a span, trying to get away from the I.
Okay, so just span class.
Yeah. And let's see here.
What version of font awesome we using?
I think Joomla 5 is using font awesome 6 now.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
If it's
Okay,
And
it'd
it's a
be
horribly bad thing to do, actually, from an optimization standpoint, because the file for Font Awesome is pretty damn large, and usually a site uses like 10 icons at most. So, from an optimization standpoint, what you really should do is to remove all of the font icons you're not using on that site, which is like 99% of them.
yeah, but since this is a module that would be installed by a lot of people, we wouldn't want that to be that would definitely be under the intrusive part of the plugin that you were thinking of not doing it for
Yeah, yeah.
for
I'm just saying in general.
yeah. So this is the class. Just switch the I class that's in the chat to span class, and you should be fine.
Yeah, I did, right?
Well, let me see.
Oh, you can use the square one. It doesn't matter, I guess.
you probably want to put before you reinstall it, you probably want to add like an ME1 or an ME2 on that span, so it gives it's not running right into the word
That?
ME-1 or ME-2 for,
Okay.
yeah, margin end.
Okay. Nice one.
You can tell people who know CSS from people who don't.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Well,
haven't. I don't.
I only
few
build in
people,
Bootstrap 5, so I know all the.
few people know ME-1 and stuff like that.
I don't use Bootstrap, so I don't know it. I'm afraid. Well, that does really annoy me when I hire a developer and they write their own code instead of just using the existing classes.
Well, that's the thing is it's like already built in here, so you don't have to even do any additional styling if you just.
Okay, so um, there is a phone number, but it's not loading because of if
First of
not
all, I
empty.
don't think it was an international format, your phone number.
No, it isn't. That'll be the next problem to overcome. But first of all, it's not showing.
Well, that's a different problem.
Is it because?
Well, you're using text, but you haven't defined. Oh, there you have. Yeah, you have the language text up there.
But is it because I'm using phone number? Does it know about phone number?
Yeah, because if you've already established, well, did you spell that correctly? Is it go back to your dispatcher file?
Yeah.
No, no, no. Go back to your dispatcher file.
Yeah.
What you're looking at is the phone number variable. What you have to be looking at is the data
So it should
variable
be
that's line.
data like
So
this.
it's all lowercase. No, it's just all lowercase. It's basically what's inside that data phone number with a
Oh,
$sign in front. So in that case, no, 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 no. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Also, just go back to dispatcher a minute.
yeah.
Right. So you're assigning the phone number that you extract from params into data,
hmm
and then you're modifying phone number using your preg replacers.
hmm
Yeah, that needs to be above it.
So yeah,
Those two phone numbers at
Oh,
the bottom need to be above that. Otherwise, you've already locked it into the data and then you run these other
right.
things, and that's why it wasn't working.
Okay, okay, okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep consistent and just give this a capital, and then give
I
this.
wouldn't. I would do it the way that you had it because this way it's very clear. Like this is. Otherwise, then you start making changes to the original one at the top, and then they wonder why it's not working.
So make it different deliberately. Okay. Okay, fine. Then I'll leave it like that. Um,
In the default file, did you still keep it all lowercase?
yeah. Um,
Good call, Mark.
proofreading is a lot of my normal job. So proofreading code just kind of comes natural.
that's what I got Copilot for, but now I've got Mark Pilot as well.
I'm impressed with Copilot. It's
I'm
really
really impressed
quick.
with it. It's unbelievable. The fact that it writes my language strings for me is brilliant.
Mm,
That's an annoying thing to have to write. Just pre-populates it.
From what I've heard or what I've been told, these AIs are getting better. The real issue is whether or not they do Joomla 5 or Joomla 3 code, and most of them are doing Joomla 3 code.
Yeah.
Oh, I still don't have a thingy.
But that's the thing is like if you have
Oh,
a base Joomla 5 module you're building from, then it will start to play within those parameters versus if you're asking it from scratch to build something, even if you say Joomla 5, it still in most cases builds it. But
yeah,
but if you start with the Joomla 5 module with namespacing and everything else, then the only issue you have is it making up its own namespacing and then wondering, what the correct version is. But
so why isn't this working though?
okay, so if
Wait, I've got two defined JExec lines. Don't need that.
If it's not empty, the other thing, okay, so to just see if you have any issue at all, first thing you can do is I'll go back to that file,
Uh-huh.
line 13, just put like the word test or something, and then inside uh after line 19, hit the enter button, and then put like test 2
Okay. Good. Yeah.
and save it, and let's see if any of those show up.
Did used to have I had like I can't remember what it was. I had a script wherever I just type in something and it would zip the file up for me and um create it, but I haven't used it in a long time. We got test, we don't have test two.
Okay, so we know that there's a signal and that this file is showing, but we know that
On line 16,
Mm-hmm.
type var underscore dump. No, sorry, you deleted lines.
Yeah.
Put it above the if statement.
Mm-hmm.
Dollar phone number.
I don't think that's the issue though, because the HTML is not rendering either. So it must be the if statement that's wrong.
well, that's what we're looking to see.
Yeah, this will tell us what phone number is
No.
and if it exists. There you go. So it's not been
That's
set.
oh right, so if statement's not working
Yeah.
because
So if
So,
not
so,
empty, it is empty because it's null.
so if that's the case, then you may need to go back into the module and hit save again. And then you
Oh,
go to the front end and see if it null still shows up. That'll at least let us, because you may have it as a placeholder or something, or who knows. But
no.
if
Yep.
it's still null, then that means there's something in the dispatcher file that's
Okay. So should it be this
So
uppercase?
data uppercase phone number equals data params get.
so
In the
maybe instead
XML,
of yeah.
sorry, in the XML, what's the param set?
Yes.
Lower phone number. Okay, so that's fine. Go back to dispatcher.
I wonder if we just get rid of the if phone number in general and just have data phone number equals phone number and see what, but yeah, take it out of that if statement in line 43. Take line 44 out of that.
Give me a second, guys. I'll come in a minute. I'm just finishing with these guys and then I'll come with you. All right.
Now we'll see.
How old is he? 7, I think he told me yesterday. It's not mine, it's my nephew. Yeah, he wants to play football. Which I will do. But, well, actually, I did say I'd be finished by 5 and I'm not, so. Anyway, let's persevere. Still no.
Okay, so then the next thing I was going to suggest before you went and zipped it up is um, change the variable, the capital phone line 40 and 41. Put the number 2 at the end of those. And then for line 41, change the phone number at the end of that to the number 2. Now add another data variable, and you're going to put just duplicate line 44, and then add data as phone number 2 at the end, and then put phone. Yeah. And now let's see if anything shows up in the dump.
Okay, it won't,
Well,
because phone number 2 is referencing itself. Line 40, you've got phone number 2 equals preg replace on the subject phone number 2.
Ah, so
oh
So
maybe.
that will
yeah,
need to be
yeah.
phone number.
Right. The first one needs to be phone number. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got 2 over. No. Second
Leave
one,
that one
because
too.
well, are you taking whatever the original phone number is and replacing it, and then going afterwards and then replacing it
Yeah, I'm
further?
replacing, like, if there's a plus at the start, I need to replace that, and if there's spaces, I need to replace them.
Okay, so if you're going to do that, then have it phone
But
number
let's
2
let's
equal.
just remove
Okay,
these for now. Let's just code these,
okay.
comment these
Yeah,
out.
you can, but I'm just saying here,
Yeah,
do this on line 40.
yeah.
Okay, what Mark said, take off the 2 at the end of the last phone number 2,
Yes. All right.
that one,
Yeah.
because you're basically plugging in the original phone number into that first variable.
Mhm.
And then the second one, you're taking whatever the finished, whatever that
Oh,
filtered
this one.
out, and now
Right.
you're filtering out further. So
So
what you
then this,
have right now is fine.
yeah.
Let's
Okay. So then I
and
can get rid of
now,
this, right?
no,
Or
don't
leave,
get rid of
just leave it.
anything. You keep it
Right.
all there, then go back into the template file.
Yeah, don't zip it yet.
Okay.
And now you have to do another var dump for phone number 2. Right? So just duplicate line 15 and then switch it to the 2 at the end.
Okay.
And now let's see if anything shows up.
So there's a great example on how not to build an extremely simple module.
Yeah, but it's also a masterclass in debugging.
Ah, here we go. Now they're both working.
So
Oh,
probably the search and replaces was corrupting the data.
Yeah, but by
right.
bringing it in, what that actually did is it removed the phone number itself and that from being the issue, and now we've narrowed it down to being the
Yeah.
find and replace is the
Yeah.
issue.
Okay then. So why is that the issue? And also, since we got
And what I would probably do is I would turn that into a function that just runs that whole thing into a separate function. That way, instead of being 2 separate lines.
well, I could probably do a regex that does both of them at the same line, to be fair. I was just I normally start this way to simplify it.
All right, so we know that's the issue right now. So if you go back into the default file, you can remove some of those tests and kind of clean that mess up.
Get rid of them too. And get rid of that.
So we know there's a phone number there.
Yeah.
So let's see what it looks like right now, because right now, you're only
So
using the phone number without the 2, so it should be the
Okay,
icon
that
for the
worked.
text. Well, no, you have to go re-zip it up and install it again.
Okay.
so
Okay, so we got this. It's got the phone number on it. So we're okay that it works at the moment. But
Except you might want to center that so that way
yeah.
it's not,
But I think let's get it working properly first, and then right, let's do that now. And Yep, so it's adding all the pluses and stuff in it. So I need to remove that plus and the spaces. So here's the task I need to do. I need to make sure there's no pluses or spaces
Why are
in
you
it.
using like a regex instead of just doing a, substitute, a PHP statement? Regex works for a lot of things, especially the more complicated, but in this case, you can just do a PHP replace. That would be, hang on. So hold on.
String replace.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, so you basically would, in the first set of quotations, you're searching for,
Like that.
you generally don't want to use like phone number again. You want to do like, let's say phone number raw or something.
Right. Okay.
So you're doing a search for that, you're replacing it with nothing, and you can combine those two. So after you get these, then just ask, AI to combine these into one statement.
Okay. Okay, then all right, fine. Just do that now. Oh, okay. It's so cool the way it renames the class and everything.
Not cool when you're asking it to debug a lot of code and then it decides to start renaming shit and you're like, what the?
Yeah, well, I'm doing it slowly. So, okay, so
So you
that's
can
your,
get rid of the bottom two, line 42 and 43.
yep.
And so now
Now I have phone
phone
number.
number is actually going to equal phone number, no spaces and pluses.
So I can get rid of this,
Line
right?
43, you can get rid of line 42. 43, you're going to replace that. Don't type it, copy it. Line 40. Yeah, there you go.
What's this red mark? Oh, it's nothing. Right, fine. Okay. So still decommit. Okay. And then there are no spaces and pluses. Okay, cool.
Does it
So,
work?
yeah, it's worked, yeah. So the last thing, which Emmanuel alluded to earlier, is what WhatsApp requires is for you to type your international phone number at the beginning without a plus. So +44 for us.
So first of all, international format, no spaces.
No spaces. It's fine. We've solved the no spaces because
Oh, okay.
we've done that in our code to allow for user error. So we
Okay.
replace a space and a plus. We take it out
Okay.
automatically. So they can put it. It doesn't matter. We'll replace it.
No. You need the plus
No,
at the
not in
front.
WhatsApp. In WhatsApp, it
Uh,
doesn't want it. It just wants it without the plus. So it would be 4-4 for England or 1 for, or would it be 0-1 or 1 from a
okay.
British one?
One.
Yeah. So then how do we? I mean,
So
we can
yeah,
just
maybe make another field and say international
yeah. So that's what I was
code.
thinking. Oh, hold on a minute. Maybe it can do it for us. Let's go into the XML file.
Ooh, country code. Ugh. Oh, that gosh. Ugh. Just ask for the country code. and then have a lookup table
The
for
country, hold on, you got to be more specific. What kind of country codes?
telephone country code.
Yeah. International phone
E
country.
E164 format is what it's called.
E164 format.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, put that in parentheses.
Okay, we all in agreement?
Yeah, let's give it a whirl.
See if we can do it. Oh, jeez. No.
Oh, so the little shit only gives you like 5 countries.
It's like,
Well, you can, well, this really should be handled in a separate custom field anyways, because that would get pretty,
Oh,
yes,
it's
and
going to
pretty
be long.
large.
There's 206 countries. Well, technically, there's less than 260 telephone codes, and I mean country codes. Since U.S. and Canada, for example, use +1.
somebody somewhere's done this, right? So where do we get it from?
So why don't you say, add all of the country codes?
Here in Paris, it's blue skies and it's 15 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Oh man. Is there a way we can make this first of all, it should be in some sort of order, but is there a way we could make this?
It looks like it's in order by the number.
It's not
Um,
144. Oh, it is. No, look, it's +7 then suddenly.
it's most
Popularity.
websites do it on popularity.
Yeah.
So if they're US based, they go US first. If they're UK based, they go UK first.
Yeah. So then my question is, should this be like a
If you did this in as a separate custom field, then you could sort it, and adjust how you want it to display.
well, I want it to be like auto populate as you're typing sort of thing.
Oh, now you're getting crazy.
Well, I'm not, but I've got Git Copilot to do this shit for me.
Yeah, it's
Ajax.
it's a built-in Joomla
Yeah.
select field, and you just make it instead of it being like multiple, or you could say multiple, but max of one.
Yeah,
Let
so
me
we
see
just do
what.
it here, right?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be form select because then it would have like two forms inside of it. It would be a layout. It's not a
Oh,
class. It's a layout. Give me a second, I'll find it.
thanks. Mark was just amazed at it doing that for me, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing anyone wants to do is type all that crap out. That's not a human's job.
I had to do that. I had to copy paste it all into Excel. And then I used Excel columns to write the HTML option values and then copy and paste that all into code. About 20 years ago, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different error. So
That was one of the first things I remember having ChatGPT do for me was create a list of like a states drop down for all 50 states and their abbreviations. And
yeah.
I was like, this just saved me a shit ton of time.
Mm.
Yeah.
So then
Take off the class. You don't need form select there anymore. It'll literally have like a select inside of it'll start looking funky.
Yeah.
So and then I don't think you have that should still work. If it doesn't, then we may have to set like multiple true and then max limit 1. But let's see if this works. Should.
If the WhatsApp code has to have the plus stripped out,
and
then you
these have all got the
could
pluses in.
search and replace the value equals plus to take
Yeah,
it
you
out at
can.
that point.
In the dispatcher, right?
Yeah, no, right here. What you do is do a find and replace for value equals
Here.
quotation.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
value equals quotation plus, and then replace it with just value equals quotation.
Yeah, okay, fine, yeah. That makes sense. Good idea.
Okay, I have to excuse myself for a minute. I have to call my mom.
Okay, cool. Man. All right. So now we install that and see if that bit works, and then we need to put it into the dispatcher.
Yeah, you don't have to delete the zip file. If you just zip everything up, it'll just replace the existing one.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's cool. But where's the other one gone? Where's my other field gone?
Did you just replace that with the other one? Yeah, looks like you did.
What a dickhead. Alrighty. Okay then.
You should be able to look at your local history and just look at a couple saves ago and then just copy it from there.
I'm on VS Code though, right?
Yeah, but if you right click somewhere, it should have like local history or something.
File history, open file history.
There you go. Just copy that right there and then paste it in the new one.
I'll go back.
And you need to add the language string too while you're in there.
Language string
I would, yeah, it's a good spot.
for this. Close that.
Just paste it in there. Yeah. You generally want to, for the labels, kind of make the first letters more like if you're doing a H1 header, or it'd be like country code with a capital C for code, and same for N for number.
Didn't understand that, mate. What do you mean?
Line 6, the English translation in the language string. You have country with a lowercase code, make that a capital C, and
Okay.
same for the phone number on line 3.
Okay, fine. That's okay on line 7, right?
Yeah, the descriptions can just be like a normal sentence, but usually
I've had one. It's all right. Okay, sorry.
but you didn't finish the language string though. Still got to do the description.
I didn't both.
Oh yeah, and then also line 3, change that to phone number with a capital N. There you go.
All right. So now that'll bring the other bit back. And we got to do the dispatcher after that.
You know, the moment that you save that module, you basically got rid of the other value that you had in there. If you had just didn't save it, it would have still been actually saved in the database.
Yeah, yeah.
But because you did, now we have to go back and add that phone number. Otherwise, if you would have
Oh, I see.
not saved it and just reinstalled it, then that
Oh, right,
information would have still been in there.
You don't need the +44.
I know that's
Ne-
part of the test, right? To leave the spaces and the pluses and the noughts.
Yeah, but also
Okay.
now you would also have to have it run a check to see if it includes a +44 in the phone number, and then strip that out as well. But we
Need to get
can
rid of the nought at the beginning as well now. That's another thing that users could make a mistake on. So
we got to go back into the dispatcher also, and you need to add the data object that you created for that field. So the name is country code.
Yeah.
And then duplicate line 42. Yeah. And then take the second half of line 38. Copy that and paste that where you just typed in country code,
Oh yeah,
and then switch the phone number there to country code.
cool.
So whatever you put inside the data variable is what you would call in the template file with a $sign in front. And then the right side of the equal sign is the parameter, essentially what the name of the field is that you created in the XML file.
Um, this basically what you're saying.
Yeah, now you also may want to consider if somebody saves the module, but they didn't actually select the country code, it's going to take whatever the default is or the first option,
We need to
which
have a
may throw
different.
things off. So you may want to have it the first option be a value of nothing. That way you can do a check. So what are you doing? I would not have a default. I would just have option value equals double quotes and then as the first option. So just copy the first
Oh, I
option
see.
value. Do they have it where you can just at the end do Control D and duplicate that line?
Probably yeah. Just leave it empty. Oh,
No, no, no,
deselect the
no. The
value.
value is empty, but here, yeah, please select country code.
Okay, and then
I would do country code instead of value.
okay, fine. So then we go back to here, and then what do we do?
Nothing there. It would basically be in the default file where you would run a check to see um, if that, you know, it doesn't equal empty, then
Okay, so we can do it here, right?
yeah. Yeah, you can just copy that and then swap out the phone number for. And now where do
Well,
you want to put the country code in front of the phone number, right?
that's not working though. Why?
What's not working?
Oh, does it go inside this inside here instead?
No, you got if you have an extra parentheses after phone number now.
I yes. This needs to be.
No, that's good.
No, it's still complaining.
No, yeah, you need to add another one then because you have it in front of the empty.
Yeah.
You have the initial
All right.
if empty.
Oh,
You just get rid of the one in front of the first exclamation on empty on the second the country code. It should just be
oh,
one, that should be, and then you should only
okay.
have two at the end.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
Now, take the country code variable that you have,
And then
and
we
then where
want to
you have
do.
PHP echo phone number, put it
Oh,
right, and then so dot.
oh, comma.
Hold on. First off, PHP echo $ country code dot. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. And now, is there a way to make it mandatory somehow? Well, it doesn't matter,
What
I
it,
suppose.
but you can make it required, but this will already not work if they don't have both of them set already.
Yeah, this will. Oh, I see, I see, I see. Then maybe we should have an error message instead, right?
So yeah, just do else.
Uh, I can just put it in this one, right? I don't need it in the system one.
Yeah, because it's on the yeah, that's fine there. Usually for yeah.
Okay. So last thing to do is to check if there's a zero at leading zero. So that has to be preg
What do you mean
replace
leading zero in
because all the UK phone numbers start with like 07 for mobiles. but it shouldn't be 7. It should be 4 for the international code and then 7 without the 0. Do you
Okay,
guys have
so
the same
then,
system or not?
uh, no, we just have, no, there's no phone number that's, or anything that starts with a 0.
Okay.
Okay, so,
So, but,
in
but
that
yours
case,
couldn't start with a 0, right?
ours couldn't.
No. Okay, good.
So what you have to do is, you have to take that line 40, copy that whole line, paste, or I mean, don't paste it, just copy that whole line, get rid of that, what you just did.
Hmm.
Copy that whole thing and then go into AI and say, update this to check if the first number is 0, and if so, remove it. So, there we go. Don't copy all that. You don't need to. You just need to copy that right there.
Okay, cool.
Then I got to get off this soon.
Yeah, me too, but I think we're done.
Mhm.
Um,
When you're doing a lot of repetitive development like this, it really helps to be able to upload to the server from your editor.
yeah,
Yeah.
to just, yeah.
So then you don't have to keep packaging it over and over.
I used to have a thing where I would just type a command and it would package it and upload it. But what
But
was it?
the whole thing is he's right, because if there's an error or something, you can also tap into all of the class names that are used by core Joomla and also use that as an example to see how other
All right,
extensions have used it.
Hmm.
continue to chat,
Looking good.
and it does message me. So the last few things I could do is
So what's the error? Is it not working still?
no, it works. No, it works fine. Um, but there are some other variables we can use. So I'm just going to check what they are and add some more fields for them. You can do this text if you want to. So for example, hey, I need help with something or other. Oh, it must be URL encoded, fine. That's the only other option, right?
Copy the HTML code examples. That would make life easier for you.
This. Oh, this has got the, what's that? SVG image? Oh,
Although this is using it, assuming that
it's using an
that you're
image.
saving that, but
I can still use this
instead of
ARIA label.
well, instead of using the image itself, you can still use the icon that you already have there in replace
Yeah,
of the image.
yeah, I think we're okay with what we've done. But I think I'll add the um ARIA. Um,
That's not going to do what you want it to do just by
oh
adding
yeah,
that
because
label.
there's no image, so it doesn't need it, right?
No, it's not the image. Go back to the website that you had.
Yeah, no, we just need
Um,
to copy this bit, the text bit.
well, that's just with your own pre-filled message.
Yeah.
You're looking for something to make it ideally open up in a modal window.
Oh shit, we got rid of dashes and brackets as well. No, oh yeah, I mean we could do yeah target new as well.
Not target new, but open in a modal window.
Um, no, we don't need to because it opens up the WhatsApp app, or else it opens up a browser tab.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. so that's fine.
But did it open up the WhatsApp app for you, or was
It
that
did
on
on my
another
other
screen?
screen. Yeah, it's on
Got
my
it.
other screen. Yeah, yeah. But we can now we can add um, now I can just add this into my.
Yeah, I think you're gonna F this whole thing up now with that. Go back to that file.
Wait, let me just put the fields in and then can I do Control D? No,
Control D doesn't work.
not on this. There'll be something. I just don't know what it is. Oops.
Okay, now you're not done yet, so don't be so quick to zip things up. You still got to go back to the XML file,
And the
and
XML file.
you got to remove the class form dash text. Oh wait, yeah, you don't need that in there.
Don't need it in the other one either then.
No, no, because it'll automatic for the text field, it'll automatically add form control class to the text fields automatically.
Okay, cool. And then I just need that should be okay now, right?
Yeah, you might want to wrap it as a language string.
Oh, I've got to I've got to encode it as well. So
So you do that in here in the dispatcher file, so that way the final result's already the way you need it.
yeah,
So
so
in this
do
case, you would do like at the top, or you would establish phone number equals data params at the tops, under line 38. So underneath that, you're gonna basically create the pre-filled text variable. You can just duplicate that.
yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
There. If you just let it autofill the rest, it should be and then yeah, pre-filled text.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Okay, so now what do you want to do with that?
I need to encode it. Uh
There
URI
should be
encoded text. So how
no,
do we do this?
there
There's a
should be
PHP
a
for that, right?
listen, no, there should be a Joomla function for that.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it should be the base 64 underscore encode.
It's doing it this way.
No, no, you just use this. Uh, this is just PHP.
This? Yeah, like that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
that's what I thought. You said there was a Joomla way. I said there's a PHP way.
yeah, but I was looking on the right side where you had encode pre-filled text URI build query.
Yeah, but yeah, I would have gone with this PHP way the first time. Anyway, cool, it's done. So,
Now you're not done yet.
oh,
Now you have to also
now I have to change that.
what do you have to change that
Uh,
for? Yeah, you have to do that
yeah,
to pre-filled text, yeah.
sorted. That's done, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Although just to do it right at the top where you have pre-filled text.
Yeah.
Keep that, but the bottom one, line 48, you can say pre-filled text encode or something at the end.
Oh yeah.
So you create no, not that, not that. No,
Oh,
that doesn't
sorry.
change.
Yeah, yeah,
The front one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you're going to use that variable down on line 52. Yeah.
Got it.
Now, in the before you zip that up, didn't you want to maybe have a default in that field so that way if there's nothing in there, then it at least has the basic.
No. What I want to do is check if it exists and then add it if it exists, but don't add it if it doesn't exist
Okay,
because
but
they
if
don't
that's
have
the
to.
case, then in the XML, then just do a default and put whatever you want the default to be, so that'll solve it without having to do any extra code.
Is that?
Yeah, and then just type
No,
in
but
whatever
I
you want.
don't want this text query shouldn't be there at all if it's empty, right?
Either way, it's going to fill it in with either what it was normally have, or it's going to fill it in with that.
So it's going to fill it in blank.
Well, what would you normally?
Oh
What?
yeah, so then it won't. It will just be empty. Yeah, so that'll be fine. You're right. You're right. It's just sending an extra query to the server, but it doesn't matter.
Unfortunately for you, I'm back.
How's
So,
your mom doing?
yeah, as good as can be, I guess. She's 93, and it's
Yeah, every day is a blessing at that age.
yep,
Mm.
exactly. And I've got two different companies that come and take care of my mom, and it's like war between the two. It's like one company tells me that the other people are doing a bad job, and then the other company tells me exactly the same thing. And I live 600 kilometers away, so I mean, I don't know who to believe anymore. Because of course, when I connect, they both seem to be doing the same goddamn thing.
Why do you have two different companies?
Because the one company, the historical one, just couldn't give me the hours that I needed because my mom, with time, older people need more time, right? More hours. Initially, it's just like, oh, drop off the shopping, the food shopping, because your parents can still, um, cook for themselves. Then it's a bit more time so that they also cook the meal. And then it's more time to actually serve the meal. And then it's even more time because now they need help with being, to have themselves clean because they can't clean themselves anymore. And, it goes through these stages. And, now it's like one and a half, one and a half, one and a half. It's like 6 hours a day. That's how heavy it's become, basically.
Hold on a second. Go back to that again. Go back, Owen.
Hmm?
Yeah, let's look at that. So you have a question mark
I think it might
after
need
the phone
quotes or
number.
something.
It needs to be an and symbol. The first, well, no, the first one's question mark text, but
Hmm.
then you have another. Where did I see it? Question mark text. No, that's right.
That's it.
But you don't have it in quotations,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's using a base encode instead of a text. So let me get you the right.
Doesn't need to be in quotations. It needs to be the text string needs to be %20, so it's a URL encoded text.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, %20 is for spaces. Yep.
There you go. It's URL encode. That's what we need.
Why are we passing a text string? For
Um, Because it's just plain text, and we want to make it into a URL.
Yeah, but why are we even passing text at all?
It's
If
text
you really
field.
want to have fun with this, because if you want to have that message show up, and then you're going to see the message, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you tie it into their site name so that way you already know which website's reaching out to you.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
So what you would do is, let me get you the code to get this site name, and then you just add that in the language string as a sprint F instead of a text F. Hang on, and not text F, but just text. So hang on.
All right, that's a good solution. I'll upload this to YouTube afterwards. In fact, maybe we should have a channel just for code along jog.
Okay. There you go. This code will get you the site name. So you're going to probably want to do this inside the dispatcher file. You'll have to fix the app and establish the app on that, which,
Oh, so I need to go up here.
well, you can just paste this above it. Minus the parenthesis at the end that I accidentally fat fingered. Get rid of that.
I need to do.
Hold on. At the end of the application. Yeah, there you go.
I need to use the thing as well, right?
Yeah, factory. It'd be this guy right here.
Like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
Another shortcut if you wanted to use, if you're only using it one time, instead of using the use at the top, you could replace the word factory on line 17 with that Joomla/CMS/factory string also.
No, I'll keep the use. I prefer it like that, and then if you need it again, you got it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you only have one thing and you don't want to have two lines, and so, but you have the app that you establish needs to be inside that function. You have it outside the function, so that needs to go down inside the function above where you're calling it. I would do it, hit line 36 and then hit the enter button and do it there. There you go.
Okay, cool. So now I've got the site name, and now I need to put a site name.
And so now pre-filled text encoded underneath that line 50.
Yeah, so now I can do.
Now do a new line. And this is going to be pre-filled text encoded site name.
No, it still needs to be encoded, so it needs to be before it.
Listen, so... no. Needs to go at
no.
Oh yeah, it does need to be before. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do
pre-filled
I'm
text.
just gonna add it on here, right?
And what are you doing? No. Don't listen. We're not barbarians. Do this the correct way. Okay. So first off, where's that code that you have site name equals that. So what we want to do is pre-filled. Hold on. No. You're going to do a language. This is going to be a language string. So it's going to be pre-filled site name equals text, capital text. No. I mean, make the ext lowercase, colon, double, and then in sprint, type in sprint. and it should be sprint F. Okay, just hit tab or whatever it does. Okay, so now we have site name in there. We have pre-filled text. So take that. Does it already have pre-filled text already in the language string? Text. Okay, so now equals, and now you're going to do well, no. This is going to be the actually go back to the dispatch file. All right, just stop typing for a second. Let's just talk this through. First of all, I think you have to add the text use at the top, the namespace.
No, it's being used already. Oh, no, it's not.
No, you got it confused. You could tell because it was underlined. So you knew there was something.
Okay, go.
Okay, so really what we want is we want to take the pre-filled text and the site name and put it in the same language string. So whatever the pre-filled text is going to be so instead of
Why do we want it in a language string?
because then you have it in this language string and then you run it through the encoding and now it's got everything in there all at once. So before site name,
Why can't I just add it to a variable though?
because we're
Because
doing this the right way. So
but
pre-filled,
that's only the right way if you're going to translate it or something, right?
you're assuming it's only going to be English people. What if there's somebody else in another language and they want to be able to translate it and now they can't because you didn't put it in a language string? What's the
Oh,
point
okay.
of what's the point of doing all the other language strings if you're going
I see.
to not do it on this? So before site name on line 43,
Then
put
why wouldn't
another
I just
comma
create a normal language string?
because we're incorporating the pre-filled text that they type in along with the site name into a language string that
Oh, I
then we're
see.
going to encode so
Right.
that way. So after the comma right before site name,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to add the pre-filled text from line 42, that variable you created, and then put another comma. No, comma.
Mm-hmm.
So in this language string that we're creating, we have
Mm-hmm.
two variables that we have to fill out. So whatever their language string is in the language string is going to be followed by for site name such and such, whatever the site name is. So now we go back into the pre-filled text. Remember, we have two variables we have to use.
So go back into my language string.
Uh-huh. And the first variable is going to be percent sign S. So get
That
rid
was
of,
it there.
yeah, get rid of that percent sign S. No, not my site is. Just get rid of my site is.
Mm-hmm.
So the percent sign S is the first variable that we've established in that language
Pre-filled
string,
text. Yeah.
which is the pre-filled text.
Yeah.
So then you can say for, type in the word for, and then another percent S, which will then show the website name.
Okay.
So now we have that established.
Mm-hmm.
And each of those percent S's, if you go back to the dispatch file, represent the first pre-filled text and the second site name.
Mm-hmm.
So because we have it in that order, the system knows that the very first one is pre-filled text and the second one is site name. If we were to reverse these here, then the language would be opposite as well. It would start off with site name first and then in pre-filled text second. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. So
So
now
now
I
you
need to
take
do my URL
the
encode. Yeah,
pre-filled
here.
site name. Yeah, you take the pre-filled site name and you throw that into the pre-filled text encoded. And by doing it this way, now you don't have to jump back into the code to change any of this stuff. You can do it in a language string.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So now we can test it, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, there you go. So then one last thing. I might as well
What does it show on the screen that it?
um
Maybe I need help with my site.
yeah, no, it's like
Why don't you do help me with my site, and
yeah, yeah.
then
But you're hard coding.
Yeah, it's only the default.
Okay.
Oh, you mean I should have a language string?
Well,
no, well, yeah, that should be a language string as well. You've done everything else with the language string.
Yep.
And if somebody's in a different language, they're going to be frustrated if everything is in their language except for that.
I think that's okay. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so I can add that in a second, but at the moment it does do what it's supposed to do. So doesn't bring up the string though.
What do you mean it doesn't bring up the string?
It opens up a message, but it doesn't bring up the string. But it might be because I haven't got a business account. It's because I haven't got a business account. That'll be why. Okay, that's fine. It still sends me a message, so I think that's okay. Right, how
So
do I
then you got to
tell?
put some note in the XML file, like use the note field type to let them know that you need to have a business account for this to work.
Oh, I put it in the description.
Yeah, because everybody reads a description all the time.
Where else would you put it?
You can create a field type for note, which would be at the very top of all of those that would stand out.
Yeah, it's too late by this point, isn't it? They'll have closed down that by this point. So put a note where?
Just do it at the top. Do you know where to go to see all the different
Yeah.
fields that you can use? Not that one. You want to go to the manual, which you can get if you go to the top there. There should be a link at the top of that.
Is it not the
Joomla
right one?
manual standard fields right there. That's the
Oh,
latest.
okay. So then you're saying there's one called note?
Yeah, there should be one called note. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was totally unaware of this one actually.
And then you just need really the label. Couldn't you just hit like the tab button and it fills out the rest?
No,
It
not this
should
time.
be.
It did before.
Or you know what you can do? Do a radio switch, account type, personal or business. And if it's business, then it would show the pre-filled text field.
I think we can do both, to be fair.
But you wouldn't need this if, oh yeah, unless
It's just
if somebody wants to know why they can't have their own message, then they would.
you know,
So
people are like they still do it.
yeah, I'll send you the link to do the modern radio switch.
Not this one?
No, that's like the old school button. What you do is just like how you added that other
Sure it's not
that
this?
other layout for the select thing, add this to that radio button instead of the class.
Just
Just hit enter, yeah.
okay, cool.
And then for the switch option, instead of it saying 1 and 2,
Some language strings.
make sure that's the language file too.
Yeah.
Mais vivre avec le VIH, c'est aussi vivre.
I would, instead of asking that long question, just say account type, because they're going to see two options, business or personal. You don't need to have that whole without a question mark, because it's just two options.
Still a question.
It's not, because it's not a question of if they're going to have an account type. It's more of which account type are you selecting.
So then I need
business, and so it'd be business or personal underscore business option, personal option, or whatever you want to do to distinguish.
there you go. That's cool. It's so much quicker when it does that for you. Cool.
And now on the scroll down on the XML file. So now for the pre-filled text, you're going to do a show on, yeah. Business or personal, which one do you have set for business? Business is 0. So if it's 0, then yeah.
That's right, isn't it?
Yep.
Who would have thought we could make it such a complicated solution?
Yeah, I thought this was easy.
It was, and then we were like,
it is easy in the
we could
basic
also do
sense, but if you're looking at building extensions for other people to use, then you have to take all these other things into consideration. It's not the same as building it for yourself. You're like, I only need these two things.
Yeah,
And
and I know
you know,
not to enter the international number and blah blah blah.
right.
But this is something we might use for others. So let's open it up. I'm gonna have to go after this though, guys. I'm way behind. I told them I'd be finished by
Yeah, you're about to get your ass handed to you by a 7-year-old.
That's it. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
And so
cool.
now you'd have to use that in your dispatcher to then say if this is switched to 0, then and so you probably first just establish at the bottom there, C line 57, copy that, and then paste it somewhere there, and then use the whatever the name is for that field, that radio switch. Then inside your template file, your default file, Now you're probably going to need to have, if that's 0, then display this string. And
Yeah.
if it's 1, then do it without the text in there.
So then I can do it inside of this if statement, right? Another one.
If,
No.
no.
If
Yeah, business or personal
equals
equals 0. And it wouldn't be in quotes because it's a number.
Okay.
And you don't even need that because it's basically 1 or 0. So you don't even have to have equals. You can just have it if business personal, because if it's 0, it won't be anything in there. And if it's a 1, it'll show 1. So
But
just leave it.
we want it to be a 0.
Right. So if it's 0, then it doesn't matter which one it is. So keep it like that. So now if business personal is 0, then that means inside there, hold on. You're going to close off the bracket on line 16 with the closing PHP. You're making this way more difficult on yourself.
Really? Okay.
All right, close that off, that
Yes,
PHP statement.
here. Oh, the PHP.
No, close it off. Yeah, line 16.
16. Right.
Okay, now get rid of what you just put in line 18. And now, yeah. Okay. On line 19, bring the closing bracket right after space after the PHP. Stop figuring this stuff out. We're building the frame first. So get rid of that text equals crap. Okay. Line 19, put the cursor after PHP, hit the space bar once, and then hit delete. Hit it a few more times. Yeah. Now after that, do else.
Yeah.
Now close that else statement off in PHP.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Ignore the thing it's trying to do.
Okay. On line 20, put the closing PHP there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to close it off first.
Oh, close what off?
Line 20, after you have else, after the opening bracket, you're going to close that off.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so get rid of the opening else bracket. So on line 20, just get rid of that closing bracket there that you have highlighted. Okay. Move that a little bit more to the left, or you can put it there. And now you're going to do one last PHP. So hit the enter, move that down. No, move it down, move that whole line down. We're not done yet. You're going to break this. Now you're going to do one more enter. Now you're going to do just like what it shows you, close that closing PHP. So now we have, all right, take line 17 and put that behind line 16. So it's easier for you to see. Okay. So we have a space. So just do a line 17. You're going to put like you're going to comment something out, and you're just going to say business. And then on line 23, you're going to do the same thing, only you're going to put personal. No. Oh, is it 21? Sorry. You got to be inside the else. Okay, so now we know that line 24 is going to already have pre-filled text. So you're going to copy line 24 and paste that where you have line 17 currently. And get rid of the business there. That was supposed to replace it. And now copy that line 17 and replace line 22 with that.
Copy line 17.
Yeah. And replace line 22.
And then remove the...
And then remove the pre-filled text part of that string.
Sorry, guys, I've got to go.
Okay, mate.
Take
Thank you for
care.
coming. Maybe next month we'll see
Okay.
you again.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Owen.
Yeah.
Okay. So phone number, that's on line 22.
Yeah.
That's bad right now. You need to remove the period and the quotation mark,
Yes.
and you need to close that off, that PHP off.
Like that.
Um, put a semicolon after the phone number there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, problem is you're mixing double quotes between HTML and PHP. So you're using double quotes to establish PHP echo in the back part there.
So yeah.
So
So I'll just make that singles. You're right.
so but then you have to switch the everything inside the span there from single quotes to double quotes.
Oh yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. And do the same thing again. So my natural instinct would have been not to do it this way because we've written quite a lot more code and we could have just added a variable for pre-filled text.
Yes, and in a perfect world, there's more efficient ways of doing these, but for the sake of being able to easily see, okay, this is business, this is personal, and this is the only difference. Or when you're starting off, you're not going for efficiency, you're just getting it so it works and actually does what you want.
But
Um,
I would have done an if test to say, is it business or personal? The text either equals this or like an empty string. And then I would have just put the variable here.
but an empty string would still have text equals, which would then
No,
have
I would have
nothing
made
in.
that the test. If it's business, do this the variable equals this string, or if it's not, variable equals nothing, and then I would have just added the variable into the URL. Then we wouldn't have had like the duplicated thing here, right?
Yeah, either way, you're still going to have to do an if statement. This visually is for a beginner would be easier for them to see the difference than, the other way. And there's more than one way to skin a cat, but the reason we did it this way is for the beginners of the world that may be watching this on YouTube and not fully
Mm.
understand at that level yet. So the only
Yeah,
thing
I
I would
mean,
add here is just a note where on line 16, right before the closing PHP, right before that, just do a comment and don't, no. That's HTML comment. No, just double slash. And you could say business account
mhm.
and then do the same for the other for personal. So somebody looking at this code for the first time can see.
Yeah, okay.
But hold on a second. Now you have line 25 you have to get rid of.
Oh yeah, the original one.
And you don't need to close that off. Because yeah, you get rid of
So I can
exactly.
get rid of. Oh, there's another else.
Yeah, because you have the main one that checks to see if there's even a
So,
phone number in there.
so there should be.
No,
Oh,
no, don't
that's
don't
fine.
no, that you have an else inside of an else. That's totally normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it should look. So visually you can see it.
So this is. I can go to there. Right. So I normally put this like this in line with it. Well, like that basically.
Yeah, I usually will just put it on the same line. Um, that way it's very clear. You got one line that's the if statement, then you have whatever's inside there, another line that's the if statement and whatever else is inside there.
Hmm.
But
Okay, cool.
okay. All right, save this. Let's install it, and then we all got a jam.
Yeah, for sure. Cool tutorial if anyone wants to watch it though. Are we gonna upload the mine's in a Git repository, so that won't be an issue, but we're gonna upload yours and Mark somewhere or
Well, mine is just an extension of Mark, so might as well just load that up, and then it has a field to add the WhatsApp ID, or not WhatsApp, but the Tawk.to ID.
yeah, coming now. I'll be 2 minutes.
It's like, Uncle Owen, I already heard that already.
Yep.
I'll be 2 minutes, yeah.
The famous 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's the same. The last
Yeah.
same as the last 2 minutes.
And to the wife, it's 5 minutes.
Hey,
Okay,
this product
so
day, brand day, I'm having flashbacks of the yesterday.
hold up. We've put personal, all right? The pre-filled text has disappeared, which is correct. But when we look at the link, it has the pre-filled text.
Hold on, okay, so let's go up and look at the template code. So
Messed up.
on line 14, do a dump for business or personal and see if what shows up. You can also just do you don't have to do VIR dump, but that works.
Oh, you can just do dump.
Yeah. And is that README file that doesn't really need to be there either, right?
It's for GitHub,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, but did you list it in the XML as one of the items? If not, then there's no need for you to keep packaging that up.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. Um, oh, so we're looking on here, right? String one. So,
So what we have to do now,
so it always equals something. So this has to have something.
no, it equals 0. It equals nothing. So then what we can do is we can flip it around and, well,
Oh, for the
if
personal one, else we do an else if.
you could do that, else if business or
But
um,
so zero would mean
0 it can mean
that's a
the
string
number
though.
0. It
It's
could
a string.
mean yeah, so it's a string, it's not an integer.
Yeah,
So in that case,
you might as well do the
since it's a
test.
string, then why don't you just do if business or personal equals, and then um double quotes
Zero.
0,
Yeah,
and that
that
should
should
fix
work.
that.
Yeah. Hey, it works. Get rid of my thumbs up. Okay, I think I need to go now, guys. So,
Yeah, you're about to get humbled by a 7-year-old.
well, like they have decided to have a birthday dinner without telling me about it. So I organized this, and they're like, "Oh, we want to sing happy birthday, and we got a cake." And I'm like, "Well, you guys need to tell me if you need me to be here stuff." Right, cool. So now my thing is on GitHub. And my
So
demo
I'm
was,
confused a little bit. I thought we were like building a module which had the ability to do all three.
yeah,
We
I think
were
we just didn't kind of get there in time.
well, the module that I added has those slots kind of built in the default template file. So if somebody wanted to, they could take that code that he put, add it to the dispatcher, and add it to the inside the slot for WhatsApp, and then you'd have that and Tawk.to in the same module.
Yeah, so what you'd do, Emmanuel, is you would add, and say here, we would add like one of these drop downs. It says WhatsApp,
Mhm.
Talk.to, whatever. And then based on that, we could look in the template file and say, if it's this, we could even do like load template, I guess.
You
Mhm.
you could, but for the sake of just making it so we're not adding a whole nother thing. And the other module, instead of it displaying in the console, it displays it in the menu, side menu. So that way it would show up more than just the home dashboard.
Yeah. That's how I started, and then yeah, we changed it because we needed to do all of these things.
But the important thing is that you have two extensions that were created from today's session that you could combine to add the best of both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so previously I'd asked the question, how would we do this phone number on the XML file? And now we have a way of doing that with our language strings, potentially.
Yeah, that's one way. I mean, you can create your own custom field as well, but
Hmm.
this is a way of making it, especially for an international
Yeah,
module, to have anybody be able to control how that stuff looks.
I did a talk on how to create a custom field a few years back. So um, that is somewhere out there.
All right,
Okay.
well, there you go.
I'm in need of food because I'm passing out.
Me too, me too.
All right, well, enjoy your cake, Owen,
Thanks.
Is it
and
your
your
birthday?
baguette, Emmanuel.
Is it your birthday, Owen?
Monday is my birthday.
Ah, happy birthday.
Yeah, Joyeux Noel, is it?
Yeah,
Oh no, that's
21
Happy
now.
Christmas. I'm 44, Jesus. And I just bought a sports car, so I'm gonna get an 18-year-old girl at some point and
What
go full midlife crisis.
yeah. What did you get?
BMW Z4.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good enough for me anyway.
Had a little taste of that convertible driving that Mustang around, huh?
Mustang wasn't convertible, was it? Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. All right,
Okay.
guys. Thank you guys for turning up, and hopefully, Emmanuel, see you at the next one. Hopefully, your computer has arrived then, and you can.
Well, yeah, the 23rd. It's supposed to arrive the 27th. So
Yeah.
it's a MacBook M4 with 48 gigs of RAM. So
So I think our next gig is going to be at Joomla Day USA, right, Adam?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it while you're there.
Yeah. So we'll sit there and work it out. So it might change the time of it, but
Or you
um,
can just add on to this and say, the last time we created these two, we're going to combine these, and now we're going to finish the last two
we could do.
messenger parts. So that way
Yeah,
you
we
have
could do.
a finished product.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
I think it would be amazing to use this code along to build Joomla modules for Zapier and for Public Connect and 8N and all those guys.
I think that should be a component myself.
No, I
But
say module because, okay, let me correct myself. For the platforms, Zapier and 8N, they call their things modules.
right.
So
So
if
they
you,
really we should just make sure that they work with Joomla because the API already exists. So there's no reason
right,
why.
but they don't. That's the point. We need to build those modules.
Are we able to? Does Zapier allow it?
Yeah, of course.
Make.com allows it. Me and Adam did my tutorial in Joomla Day USA is popular.
Zapier lets you, and they've grown to the point where they're not going to do it for us.
Well, that's fine as long as we can do it.
Yeah. Just in the past, I would say the first 200 modules they built themselves to get people to realize that this was a worthwhile thing. And Joomla is the only CMS that doesn't have support, so
That's
it would be nice.
That's crazy. That should be something we should try and achieve in this code along. That'll be a great
that's what I'm
addition to the
saying.
community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
and then
me,
Emmanuel can go to Zapier and all them and say, hey, add this module along with all the rest so it doesn't look like we're dying and nobody's trying to integrate with us anymore.
Yeah, so I know Zapier very well because I was a customer for a long time. I'm still a customer, and they have a process which is first you basically publish one, but it's considered beta with them, and then you need to get 10 people to use it on their site. And once they have 10, they see they have 10 installs and people are using it, and there are no crashes and no blah blah blah. Then we go into public mode, which then means that we get published to their directory.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, Make has already got stuff.
I'm sorry, say again?
Make.com has already got stuff.
Does Make have a Joomla?
Yes, it does. I'm not sure how complete it is. Me and Adam were testing.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It may not be that complete. Let me look at what Joomla's. There is one, and let's see what it can do. It is verified.
Yeah.
It's maintained. So you can create a category, create a menu, create an article. Well, then let's look at the triggers. The triggers are that's part of the problem. The triggers are very limited. Watch a new article or watch updated articles. But what about watch new user created? What about there's so many other triggers
there's like a Joomla just nothing on it, and then you can add the user one and everything else, I think.
Yeah, okay. The way it works with any of these platforms is you have a trigger, and then you have actions, and then potentially you have a third type. The trigger is what you need so that...
so they have just a Joomla API trigger, and then you can add the user bit.
No, they don't.
They do. For Make.com, they do.
I'm looking at the site right now. They do not. They only have watch
new articles. We were trying to use it, so I think they do.
Maybe it's literally just on the website. And it says
no, we tied into their to the Joomla API.
No, they had they had the content one, but there's another one which is less than that. It might still be content, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
So you're wrong because there's an action step, not a trigger step. That's not the same thing. In the action step, yes, you can make an API call, absolutely, but the trigger is the most important because even though it's important to have actions, the trigger is what will make the automation start. And right now, we only have watch new articles and watch updated articles, which is good.
Oh, I see.
It's a good starting point.
I'm thinking the other way around, where you're pushing.
Yeah, but I understand. But we need triggers because triggers is what starts the whole process. So for example, we would need a watch new user, as a website webmaster might want to do an automation where when a new user gets added to their Joomla website, then this action happens. Whatever the fuck this action is, I don't, it could be for example, send them a Brevo newsletter, right? But if they don't get the trigger of watch new user, then they can never do sending of the email to them. So there's a couple of triggers that need to be added. And I'm sure there's a couple actions that probably need to be added as well.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a very cool project. It probably requires a Joomla task force or something to do that.
Maybe. Anyways, good night. I'm going to go eat.
Thanks, guys. Good to speak to you.
All right, guys.
Yeah. See you later.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
Happy
See you
birthday.
later. Thanks.
All right. Bye.